festivity in Nigeria is characterized by celebrations. And one very important thing that must be added to every meal is meat. And because of the high cost of meat, most families deploy strategies. And one of the strategies is that they buy these animals months before time and they begin to feed them. And in the mind of this animal, they'll be like, my owner loves me and that is why he's feeding me. Not knowing that they're just feeding them fat to be slaughtered. Don't confuse gifts for love. Some ladies have made mistakes and they have followed some guys that pampered them so much, not knowing that they were being prepared for the slaughter. And some of them had come down with some terrible gynecological problems that led to their death. Some ran mad. Some of them, their body organs have been harvested for money rituals. Some of them are alive, but even the dead is better than them. I beg you in the name of God, please live within your means. If you have to suffer, suffer with your parents. There's dignity in suffering. Because at the end of the day, a more exceeding glory awaits for you. Say this after me. I will not be a victim.
I will not be a victim.
Because I will live within my means.
Because I will live within my means.
God bless you.
Amen.
You've heard it all from what this Nigerian is actually doing, and he's catching them very, very young. I like the fact that he's talking to young children in the classroom, and what he's actually doing is that he's speaking to every Nigerian and every global citizen all over the world, but starting with the younger ones, because children are the cradle of civilization, and when you catch them young, you build a better future. May we never be victims of such circumstances because of meat. God bless this young man for all he's doing. Really, you know that Nigerians do not cease to have festivities. And this is coming at the heels of Valentine, which is very, very close. And even after Valentine, even Easter would come, birthdays would come. Plenty occasions will always come. But will you allow meat let you pass away? Personally, I was brought up in a family where we celebrate birthdays, but it was never a do or die thing. It was never a do or die thing. In fact, on some birthdays, you will just celebrate it in the house by buying Coke, Fanta, biscuits, carbon biscuits, and some groundnuts, and you just spend it there at home. You don't need to call anyone to come at home, to come to the house. What was this nurturing in our lifestyle? To a certain extent, the spirit of contentment, that you don't need to go for what your hands have not reached. I had a very close friend, a female, whom when it reaches her birthday, if you don't have money to spend for her, you are more like nothing before her. And this wasn't auguring well even for the friendship. I just had to wonder how was the foundation, because at times when she's not on money, she will go out asking and begging, and you see it's like all hell will let loose. This is not the case. This young man here has talked about organ harvesting. And most of you do not know it, but it's true that organs are being harvested. Check those that are being murdered on the streets. Check those that you happen to find in body bags. It's mostly the bodies of females. Check those who are being dropped from luxurious cars. It's mostly females. Go to the hospitals. Things are happening. Festivity is just around the corner. We need to be guided. There's a place of prayer in all of this, in whatever we're doing. Prayer needs to go ahead of us, but most importantly, contentment. Progressive Young, I remember, just recently released a song called Medi. And in that song, he said, Ntukod mi miss meke, afo meka no. Where my legs have not reached, you have gone ahead for me. And that is where prayer comes in. And this prayer comes in with contentment. I once had an advice that said, teach your wife to be a widow when you're alive. That advice didn't mean, when I asked back, it didn't mean you have to let her suffer, but you needed to let your wife, or whoever is your business partner, see the vicissitudes of life. See life in all its ramifications. If it's a business partner, teach the business partner, especially if it's your wife or those members of your household, how to manage this business even when you're alive, so that if you're not there, they can step into your shoes. Do you know how much wealth has gone down because the owners died. The CEO was no more, and the children were in no way having the capacity to deal with this. I have mentioned organ harvesting. I have mentioned prayer. I've talked about the songs this man sang. I've talked about teaching your wife to be a widow when you're alive. There are many other factors. Most of you, I don't know if you've watched the film called Troy. You remember the Greek gift, the Trojan horse. Please be wary of gifts that are being given to you. I work in an establishment where from time to time they give us meals. And at times when you go, maybe the person serving the food will tell you, oh, so sorry, sir, today we don't have about 3 portions of meat to give to you. We just have just 1 piece of meat. And I will accept it. There are days you go and they tell you, oh, it's exhausted. I still eat it because when I was brought up from childhood, there are times they will cook rice and there's no meat. You're trained to eat it that way and not complain. Meanwhile, my uncle is a sailor. So whenever he comes back from sailing, you are so sure that there will be plenty of fishes to eat. So when there's plenty, we eat. When there's no plenty, we move along. Life goes on. Why must life be a do or die? And this message is mostly to the ladies. And I think even if you look at this classroom, you will see mostly ladies, young girls are here. Because they are the ones who seem to have much of greed. When that gift was given, the Greek gift, they accepted that gift without knowing that plenty soldiers were inside that Trojan horse. And in the night, they were devoured. They were devoured. They were devoured. Look at what is happening in Nigeria. Even in weddings, the gifts that are being given, most often than not, there's evil intent in some of those gifts. Those of you who know what I'm talking about really know what I'm talking about. We need to be extra careful with gifts that we get. We don't need to have a greedy life where everything we see we put into our mouth. This young man has done a very nice job, and I am here to sound the alarm, to spread this news, so that if you were not aware of it, you need to be aware of it. You need to share this to family and friends. You also need to subscribe so that you stay tuned to what is going on. There's a lot happening in Nigeria, especially now that hardship has come to stay. We are living in perilous times. People's eyes are red, looking for where to get meat from. It may not really be only the meat that is found in your plate. Money. It applies to different facets of our life. We need to control our heart, because out of it comes the issues of life. If you've not watched that film called Troy, please go and watch it. There are so many things you're going to learn from this movie. There are so many things you're going to learn from this movie. I'm not going to make this video very long. Just learn from what you could share your experiences. Learn from what this young man is educating people. He's educating the public. Let's be very watchful. God bless.